Alright, so let's refine the fireball and why it's shooting ahead of time first. So to do this, I'm going to add some more code into this, and the following variables need to be. So variable, let's see, angle distance. Okay, and variable attack range. Notice these are not demeaned by the integer because they are floats. So, all right, now this is what's going on. If the target game object is player, so this is very simple. This is a very simple little script. But what happens if it's not the player? So now you're going to see a more complex thing happen. You're going to see a complex to-if statement kind of thing going on. Where, remember when I told you about this? If, open and closing, to make one of these anytime you made an if statement. Well, that's good if you have separate arguments. So right now we have to have a combined argument in order to figure out if the player is really a player. So let's get rid of the if statement. Let's get rid of this bracket because of that. So this if statement goes together. Good. So now we need an argument that says something like this. If the target equals null. And what's going to happen? Well, it's going to return. And by returning, it just returns to the top. Says, okay, I don't want to do this. Return. It's not part of the schema. That means there's going to be a separate argument down here later on that says, well, what happens if it returns? How many times does it return and why? If can see target, and this is the function we're going to write later. This is actually a stolen function. Oops. All right, so if it's returned, what happens? It goes up here. So it's got two chances to return. So then it's going to go variable forward to the transform node. It's going to use a raycast to figure out who's in front of him. Is it player? If not, it's going to return. And then what we're going to have to do is now just have the fireball, but let's see if we have some code down here to write first. And before we write that code, let's make sure everything works so far as is there any errors. Okay, the unknown can see player. Okay, that's fine because that doesn't actually exist. Good. So no little errors. All right, so now what happens when there's another function? So, which leads me into the part of the thing that you can actually return a function using an if statement. So function can see target. And if you don't want to like type out this whole entire thing, what I want to do is show you where I got this. As I said, the first part of the videos, very first part, is to go in and download just about every resource reference that you can get a hold of. And one being the first person shooter tutorial on 3dunity.com. And in here we have the Sentry gun, and the Sentry gun has a lot of interesting properties on it. And one, here's this function, and you can see that's where I got my double null too. The part I took out was this because it's not rotating towards the player. That's going to be handled just like I did the squirrel via lerp, I think. I haven't decided that far ahead yet. So let's go in here and let's go back. I got that copied, and I'm just looking around at my mess of a desktop here. There we go. And pasting that right here. And what I want to do is add a few things in here so I know it's working. Some strings. Okay, after it returns, I want it to return a message via my new fancy script. Player is out of range. Okay, another one. What happens when it's down here? Player was hit. And now define hit. I'm not shooting anything, but I know that this is a line cast, a physics line cast, so it's got to see the player right in front of him to hit him, so that's why I'm going to put that there. Actually, I'm going to put line cast. There we go. That makes more sense, and that'll get us used to what line casting is later on. So save it, and let's go in here. Okay, so we got too far away to chase. A player was found. You are the enemy. So at least I'm in the scene. Okay, if I get close, fireball was shot. If I go away, what happens? If I get up on top of here, player is out of range because this bar is in my way. And look at this. Let's replay it for a second. Notice that this did not trigger the actual fireball. This did. Alright, so that's how you fix up the code. Now all we have to do is figure out how we're going to have the player rotate. And again, I'm going to use this as a control mechanism, and the arrow is going to be actually the one rotating, just like the squirrel. Alright, so that's it for now, and then on to the next video.